So can something like the Tonex ONE be a suitable backup for my FM3 rig? So this is my FM3 preset, or the main preset I use. Obviously there's certain things and limitations that the Tonex ONE has, but I thought I'd show the preset first to give you some idea of at least the main tone that we'll be looking at. So the main ingredients are basically a filter block with a bit of low cut and high cut, Spawn OD21, the ML Damon 60, 57C, 57B IRs, and I'm also using a preamp, mic preamp within the cab block. I've got a super tight sidechain style gate. Details on how to set this sort of thing up, I'll link to a video up here. And then on my second row here, I've got a delay that we use on certain parts. And along with that, which is very crucial almost to the sort of EQing of the tone, is a multiband compressor, which we have here. And then finally an EQ block with a low cut and a high cut, 80 Hertz and then 8000. And then some really tiny dips in the mid-range just to pull back on some frequencies that might push a bit too much within the mix. Obviously with this size, you're limited in functionality, so you can only load 2 presets or 2 captures. With the new Tonex FX update, you can add, say, a delay or some extra effects onto one of the presets and then switch between them. However, there is no spillover between those presets. Try as I might, I couldn't capture my FM3 using the FM3 as an audio interface. Now the thing here, that means that it's extra costs. So the Tonex ONE, I believe, is around the 170-ish euro mark. Add a reamp box to that, which is around 85 euros or plus, depending on which one you want to go for. And that's already a bit of extra money that you're throwing into a backup rig. And then add to that, this does have a stereo out, but you will need some kind of DI box to take this to front of house or depending on your setup. So on something like this, you won't be able to control it with something like Midi. However, on the larger Tonex, you've got Midi control on there. And the most important one, I think for me at least, is having Midi clock in there. So it can sync up the tempos of your delay sounds. However, I don't have the bigger Tonex. I have something like this. However, I do have a timeline. So by putting together a small board, I can basically have the effects that I would be missing from the Tonex, that is the pitch effect, so I can have an octave pedal in front of that, and then use the timeline after the Tonex to do all my delays, and then just have the Midi cable from the laptop going into that to sync up all the Midi tempos so I don't have to tap in anything. So now that setup with the Tonex ONE is obviously very specific to my use case scenario, but I thought I'd show how I use it and how I set it up, as it might be food for thought for, say, some of you out there using a Fractal rig of some description, that you have something that you can quickly use in a pinch to either finish a gig or at least get the same tones out. In any case, hope that was useful. If you like this kind of content, please drop a like and subscribe as it really helps me out. Thanks.